Well, on the first part of this program, we'll be looking at the crisis at hand, the extent of the problem, school fees, the cost of a digital education, and how and why access to affordable and accessible credit is key to give any number of children a real shot at a future. Well, joining us now, Muhammad Yunus, the founder of Grameen Bank, Nobel Laureate Magsaysay Awardee. Wonderful that you can join us on this program. We are truly honored. Sir, the pandemic has had a very unequal impact on people. In India, for example, lakhs have been set back financially for years. They've moved from the lower middle class to poverty. And that's been statistically proven, over and over again. How do we manage this situation now? How should we be responding to the impact of the pandemic on poor people?
Well, thank you. Thank you very much for inviting me and raising this very fundamental question during this pandemic period. As soon as the pandemic began, what you just narrated for India, it also became true all over the world. It's not just India. Because the economic setup that we have, the system that we have globally, follows the same system. Bulk of the population is near the bottom of the pyramid, the bottom of the income level of all countries. So if you put if you draw a line for $5.50 in income per day, half the population will be under that globally. So this is a kind of half the population of the entire world below that. And then if a pandemic comes, these people are pushed further down. And those who barely crossed the poverty line before the pandemic, we're all excited, improvement is happening and the poverty is improving. Only just around that poverty line, slightly above. Then the wind came and pushed us all back under that poverty line. That's the description that you gave. So we have to look at the system itself, why it happens, why all the people have to live close to that line, everybody. Like if half the population is under $5.50, if you add another $5.50, probably 75% of the population of the entire world is in there. Why is that? Where is the wealth? Where is the income? It's way above, somewhere else. So why this distance between the wealth and the income and the people? Who created this machine, which separates out, segregates people from the wealth? So we need a different kind of machine to build them together, to bring it together so that people and the wealth live together. So this pandemic raises this question. We have to redesign things in a way. So how to address this right away? Rangde is doing one part, this important part, in a small way, is a kind of initiative to demonstrate that it can be done, offering credit, financing. And financing is so important for people to survive, people to discover the entrepreneurship. When we talk about education, behind that is a very powerful thing, is entrepreneurship. So entrepreneurship and education, when you combine, you don't need anybody else. All you need, finance has to be there so that you can bring this together. And the world can be made by people by themselves. So this is the missing piece of the entire system. The financial system is mess. It's never addressed the people below that level that we are talking, $5.50 people. That's not the education, banking system is all about. So we have to redesign banking system to create a banking system which addresses that, provides that, and that's what the initiative is having right now.
So I think Pranoy had a question to you as well.
Muhammad Yunus, thank you very much for joining us.
Good to see you.
So many small businesses have been destroyed or received a really huge blow. So many children have lost their education, have seen their education disrupted. Tell us about the kind of role that microcredit and social businesses, social investing can play in rebuilding livelihoods and providing access to schools and education for the poorer people in our society.
Yeah. So even before pandemic, in a normal day, still there, the same problem, but in pandemic, it gets condensed. It becomes very, very big, unbearable. But so what we did, we tried to bring finance to the poor people. That's what the microcredit was created. And we gave education loan for the children of Grameen families, because all our borrowers, 97% of our borrowers are women. Out of 9 million borrowers, they are the 97%. But they're all illiterate, cannot read, cannot write. And that's the way they join. So we wanted to make sure that their children get literacy, get education. So we introduced right from the beginning with the Grameen Bank education loan. If you can cross the primary school, you'll be financed to go to the high school. And if you cross the high school, you'll be financed to go to the college, university, and so on. So we have created lots of graduates, lots of master's degrees, lots of PhDs out of the totally illiterate families coming from the poor families, just by providing the financing system into it. In order to make it more strong and sustainable, we created an organization called Grameen Shikha, exclusively paying attention to the children of poor families, provide them the financing. And we tried all kinds of financing. Rang Day is coming with this interest-free loan. We have interest-free loans. We have donations. We have taken money from people who want to help sponsor these children. So you sponsor a children and give an X amount of money, and we manage your money to see that that child goes into education. And that child not only goes into education, in many cases, they are going to the college, university, and doing wonderful work, master's degrees, some even doing their PhDs, just because the finance was available. So we have varieties of our programs addressing all kinds of people, all through the financing. We have a financing system where you can put X amount of money just to give it to us, and we'll not touch your money. We'll just take the income of your money and use it as scholarship. It's not a loan. We just take the income of your money as a scholarship going to the children. So I'm not saying giving interest-free loan is a bad thing. It is a good thing, very good thing, because you can draw a lot more money by doing that and immediately can make it available. But point is, you can make this huge one, not just 50,000 students or some small number of students, millions of students, if we have the financial system standing behind it. And you can organize the businesses and so on who will be providing that financing as a kind of interest-free loan to you, so that you can use it as interest-free loan to somebody else, and that kind of extension can be done. So this connectivity is very important there.
Yeah, no, the interest-free loans and the way that it actually works, so important in us actually understanding this. Prannoy?
So, Muhammad Yunus, how can we ensure that the education of our children is not sacrificed because of the hardships their families may be facing in this pandemic, and generally poorer families who still want their children to have a life-changing experience going to school? How can that be done through microcredit?
In our case, again, what we did, just to respond to your same question, we said not a single child from Grameen families skipped education. So it's our total dedication. It's our staff who are handling money as a credit operation and so on, responsible to keep watch on every child from every family that they're working with. So that a child not only was going to school, making sure he and she stay in the school. Sometimes you enroll it in the poor families, and before you know, they left the school doing something else. So it's our responsibility to make sure the child remains in school, and whatever is needed so the bank can support it, so on. So we need organization to be built like that. It's not one initiative. We have to create massive number of initiatives. That's where the social business comes. We create like Grameen Shikha-like organization as a social business. You invest in that business, not to make money, but to solve a specific problem, the problem that we were talking about, education, for example. If you have agricultural bank, you have fisheries bank, you have that kind of bank, why not education bank? How create financing? It's not only financing for your education, also going beyond that, financing your equity for your entrepreneurship. You will not end up just giving you a degree and then on your own find a job. It's not like that. We take full responsibility of make sure that it's ultimately you turn into an entrepreneur, and finance will be available to you from the same source. So we follow you from the very beginning to all the way to turn you into an entrepreneur who can not only take care of yourself, you contribute to the economy and make sure that your ability and your talent is useful to the society, not condemned by the system that where it only pushes you into jobs.